We are starting to show some pretty neat new things that I think are going to revolutionize the IP video market. One of those things that we want to talk about today, and I really would like you to go over with customers, is the new operating system platform. In the past we had a unique Bosch operating system platform, and all the competitors have a unique operating system platform of their own. It sounds like in the future we may be getting more or going more toward a common type operating system that's going to bring a lot of advantages to the industry, especially to Bosch. Do you mind talking about that this morning?
Yeah. What we're introducing today is a prototype of our new MIG camera, the MIG 7100i, which will be released with our new platform in the beginning of 2020. In Q1 we will have it, but we said, okay, this time we want to show a prototype. But what is the special thing? If you have a look at the web interface of this camera, it really looks like a Bosch camera which every customer knows. So it's our look and feel, it's video analytics being shown there, it's all the things you know from a Bosch camera. What is the special thing below is, it's the first camera we're using a standard operating system. We're working together with a Bosch company called Security and Safety Things, or S&ST, and they're providing us an operating system based on Open Android, which allows us to have a flexible platform these days, where we, in addition to that, what we know from our, I call it always ground jewels, or from our fundamentals like video analytics and also the good image quality, can go above that. A user or a system integrator can write its own applications on this camera to fulfill the use cases that these integrators will have. For instance, they're looking for a special overlay. The special masking of information you would like to have in the video. In the past, it was always a challenge. You had to get it in the bunch of the firmware, in this whole thing, and you had to do adaptation in this firmware. And now, if I'm an integrator and I have this special challenge to mask out video or make special overlays for areas, I can write my own Android-based app and I can run it on my camera.
So this kind of reminds me of a fun device that we all carry around, a portable phone, or actually a small computer that we all keep in our pockets. So I think this is relevant to that, right? This sort of the same thing where we all don't know. We get an empty box that does certain things, and then we are able to go to the store, this online store, and download an app that somebody else made that fits our needs, whether it's a change of habit or making life easier in some way or another. Things that we probably didn't even think about when we first got this phone years and years and years ago.
Exactly. You mentioned two things here. Yeah, it's exactly that what we also have with the S&ST OS. We have an application store or an app store. Everybody knows that from the big manufacturers of phones, where you really can upload your apps and download it into the camera. And they also provide a very nice developer portal where they give all the information about the interfaces that you can use, and it's standard interfaces, to create an app. And you really mentioned that there is applications where we think of, we have them. So for instance, if we go to configuration, our video analytics itself is an app on this camera, but it could be also another app where we have not thought about it. So as I mentioned before already, this stamping thing, or license plate recognition, or facial recognition, or any other app, we could also with this platform really generate a push from integrators that they say, this is a special use case I want to solve with the app, and they can load it to the camera.
So one of the things that are a struggle or a challenge now is getting the camera to have enough horsepower to do all these special things that exist out there. Right now, Bosch IBA is on board on the camera, and with the IBA we have a dedicated chip that's inside the camera that's dedicated to just IBA. What does this S&ST operating system bring to the table in terms of resources and capability that the camera will have moving forward?
It is, sorry to correct you here a little bit, it's not the S&ST operating system that brings the additional horsepower, it's simply the new chip we're using there. We're using a chip that has actually 10 CPUs in total. So 8 ARM cores, 1 GPU, which you can do for operations, and also 1 vector processing unit where you can run your app. So it really has 10 different cores where it's double the size of in terms of processing power that what we had before. So it's really it's a step, and it's a single chip solution from a company called Qualcomm, so which is also used in phones. So, and based on this one, we have much more processing power where we can run these applications too. And this is also part. It's also part of the S&ST operating system, that they really make sure that the apps run correctly, that they can fulfill the task, because it's still a security camera, and the first task of the security camera is to generate a video picture to really watch the situation there. And all the other apps, how they are managed, this is also part of the standard operating system, so that you can call it load balancing or task manager. It depends a little bit on the point of view there.
So, as you said, this looks really familiar to what we've had for a very long time in terms of a web page browser type setup. And you note that there's a couple of extra tabs in theory on here for the places to load those apps. You're showing us the user apps tab now.
Or here, the S&ST app. So you really can go then there, and there you have software management and the cloud connectivity. So all these new cameras could be also connected to the cloud, certificate based. Actually, it's the same with your smartphone. It's also connected to a Google Play Store or to an Apple iTunes Store, and the same goes here. It can be also monitored by the cloud, so there's a lot of functionality. But, and that's the important thing, that's the message we want to give also to our customers. In general, it's a typical Bosch camera that the people know that it could be still running in a BVMS environment, or it could be still running in any other VMS environment like they are integrated right now. So for a standard user, he can use it offline also in his closed environment, and can offline upload the app. So it's really, it's the total flexibility. So you can bring it to the cloud, but you do not have to.
And you get all this every day, or in the future you're going to get this with every camera. Now we're introducing this MIC 7100, and I believe that's slated to be released in the end of 2019, through the middle of 2020. So all this comes at no additional cost to the customer, right?
We will release it in the first quarter of Q1 2020 is the target. And yes, we will start with the Autodome and with the MIC, but there's also fixed cameras planned that will come with the Android platform. So we start in the upper level of our portfolio.
And those apps that we're talking about, those are the things that may cost a couple of dollars, just like when you buy something through your phone. There'll be free stuff and probably things that cost a couple of dollars, depending upon what it took to write those and the company that set out to do that, right?
Exactly. So our standard way to deploy apps is via the S&ST App Store. So any vendor can place there an app, and they can run on the camera. And then this business goes also to this vendor who is doing the app. And that will be done over the S&ST App Store. That's correct, and that will be the additional price on that devices.